Welcome gamers, hobbyists, and painters. Today we're going to share 5 cool tips and tricks that you can do with the Army Painter Speedpaint. While Zenithal or Rob the Honest Wargamer's slap chop priming technique can be used, Speedpaint also works great over a light base coat like Color Primer Matte White or Brain Matter Beige. Our subject for today's tutorial will be this handsome miniature from Steamforged Games' Epic Encounters Cavern of the Frost Giant expansion to show off our 5 tips and tricks. The first technique that we're going to show you is how to use Speedpaint for glazing. This time-old technique gets a glow up with some high-tech paint. Let's jump into the studio to learn more. Glazing is a way to add saturation or tone to a miniature by applying a translucent or thin layer of paint over another color. Begin by applying a normal coat of your base color to the miniature. In this case, we're using Aged Hide. While Speedpaints are already semi-transparent, by mixing them with Speedpaint Medium helps to dilute the pigmentation. Using this, you can make a very simple glaze. You can see Thomas has made a glaze using Dusk Red, and he's applying this glaze to the deep recesses and shaded parts of our Frost Giant's muscle structure. We recommend starting with 1 part Speedpaint to 4 parts medium, but you can always add more medium or paint depending on how controlled you'd like to be with your layering. Let's see the same effect applied to the axe. We'll begin with a base coat of Speedpaint Ashen Stone applied liberally but evenly across the axe head. The new and advanced Speedpaint formulation now dries quicker than ever, so Thomas will be able to apply this next layer of glazing even faster. Now with thinned down Tyrian Navy, he'll apply this to areas of interest on the axe. Then he cleans the bristles and uses the clean brush to feather and glaze into the base coat for a seamless transition. It is important that you don't have too much paint on your brush when you feather, or else you won't get the desired effect. But using a bit of Speedpaint Medium on a clean brush can also help to smooth out those blends. Speedpaint is designed to offer a smooth base coat, deep shadow, and easy highlight in one coat. But with the addition of a dry brush highlight, you can dramatically push the contrast on your mini. Simply apply a base coat of your chosen color. We're using Dark Wood. This is an OG Speedpaint color here. You can see as Thomas applies this layer, the deeper pigments run into the recesses while the base coat applies instantly. We like to use the regiment brush for a lot of this work because it holds a nice tip while having a big enough belly to carry lots of paint when you need it. Once it is dried, grab your acrylic highlight color. Banshee Brown is a great complement to our base tone. And apply a simple dry brush across the raised edges of the miniature. It is important when dry brushing to use as little paint on your brush as possible to achieve the desired effect. Let's see that again, this time on the giant's hair and beard. Start with a layer of Speedpaint Tyrian Navy, nice and smooth over the selected areas. And once dry, we'll apply a dry brush of Warpaint Wolf Gray to highlight the hair. With long strands of hair sculpted in this fashion, you'll want to lightly drag the flat of the dry brush bristles across the hair perpendicularly to get the best result. Dry brushing and glazing may have been the obvious techniques for some, but did you know that you can also use Speedpaint to add texture to a miniature? Well, not literal texture, but a textured appearance. Check out how Thomas uses Speedpaint to achieve a worn weather look. Begin with a base coat of Satchel Brown applied all over the chosen leather bits and pieces on the Frost Giant. This would work great for a wizard's robe or even a Space Marine captain's cloak too. Once that base coat is dry, Thomas is going to use some packing foam to sponge and stipple on some of that Banshee Brown we used earlier. He's careful to focus this on the worn edges of the leather. Then with Aged Hide, he applies a simple layer over top to harmonize the deeper brown base coat and that lighter tan stippling. Who knew leather was that simple? Speedpaint Metallics are the industry's first one-coat metallic paint solution. Unique to their non-metallic counterparts, these metallics are less transparent but achieve stronger coverage while adding a bit of depth to the recesses of the model. Let's see how to make a simple verdigris and rust effects using them. Apply a base coat of brazing copper and broadsword silver to your chosen areas. Once dry, apply a focused wash of Speedpaint Plasmatic Bolt over the copper for a simple verdigris effect. For the rust, use some War Paint's Effects Dry Rust thinned down with a bit of water or Speedpaint Medium, and apply this like a focused wash over focal points on the metallics of your miniature. Just like that, you have upped your weathering game. Way to go. Now for our final effect, let's get bloody. Using a mixture of Speedpaint Slaughter Red and Murder Scene gives a realistic blend of deep, dark reds and more vibrant reds. Now using an old brush or a used brush with the bristles cut back, load it with paint and use your fingers to flick the paint from the bristles to your weapon like Thomas is doing here. You can then use the brush to stipple and dab more blood into concentrated areas on the blade. It's better to start with a more conservative application because you can always add more of your effect later, but it's much harder to remove the effect once it's been applied to your miniature. Now using the base colors in cooperation here, you can add the deeper and brighter tones alternatively to give the illusion of dried coagulated blood and fresh blood spatter existing on the surface at the same time. Now here's the finished Epic Encounters Frost Giant painted using a host of techniques and applications with Speedpaint, the all-in-one paint solution by the Army Painter. Whether you're a beginner looking for an easy paint option, a gamer looking to get that new model or unit to the table quickly, or if you're just trying to expand your range of techniques, Speed Paints are a fast, fun, and versatile tool in any hobbyist collection. I think Thomas deserves a break. What do you think? Good job, Thomas. You've earned that pistachio cream pop. Try Speedpaint in its advanced 2.0 formulation. Find it at your friendly local game store, from trusted online retailers, and at www.thearmypainter.com.